Welcome to Real World Redneck Podcast, redneck hacks that'll make you laugh. Today, let us talk about a mushroom that you can pick all year long. Now, everybody knows that morels are king. I just think it's the best mushroom on the planet. Most people agree with me, but the one thing about them, and I think what makes them the most choice mushroom that you can eat is the scarcity of them. You know, there's literally unless you're going to travel for them, there's like 1 month out of the year where you can find fresh morels. And the beauty of this mushroom we're going to talk about today is you can literally find it every month of the year. I walked by these the other day on my daily walk and found them. This is January. Of course, you might be listening to this anytime, but this is January and typical winter, 20 degrees or so. These things are tough, and they're pretty good. So let's talk about oyster mushrooms today. Before I get to that, I wanted to tell you, many people have said that the podcast is growing. Thank you so much for sharing it, and glad we're developing a little community here. Many of you, though, have said, a lot of these things, it would be cool to have video with them as well. And I thought, yeah, that's right. I was talking to Jay about the worm bin, and he was saying, boy, it'd be cool if you had visual, images to go with that. And so here's what I propose. You guys let me know what you think about this. Real World Redneck Podcast does have a YouTube channel. I've just never messed with it and never developed it. I think I've got about 70 subscribers. I'm a few million below Cutie Pie or whoever it is, or Rogan or some of those guys. Because I just haven't. I love audio. I love podcasts for audio because it can be hands-free, and so I've just focused on that. But we're to a point now where it would be cool to have some images to go along with what we're talking about. So I'm still going to release a podcast audio just like I have been every Monday. That part won't change. If you're getting it that way and are cool with that, that part doesn't change. Many times, though, I am going to put it on the YouTube channel as well, so that there's video to go along with it. Like for today's, for example, this is going to be on YouTube, and the YouTube channel is it's our deer head, just like the icon on the podcast, and it's called Real World Redneck as well. It's got that deer head on there. I will put a link to the YouTube channel in the show notes. Hopefully you guys will let me know if you like this idea by subscribing. I'll see if they bump up a little bit. And the other thing is I'll jump in there informally and just update you on some of the podcasts, like the sauerkraut, for example, show you how it's looking and just do updates on there, get the community going another way. I like podcasts, but there is a place for video, isn't there? We've got the muscle memory of the TV growing up, where at the end of the day, you just want to park it in a recliner and sit there and just relax with some video to watch. And nothing on TV that I want to watch, not with my kids anyway. And if there was a show that you did like, I can't watch the commercials with them. Commercials is just these psycho thriller torture. I don't know what we're doing to ourselves. This is stupidity. I'm not going to consume that, and neither is my family. So YouTube it's a good alternate to that. So this is going to be on YouTube. You can find it there, or just continue to do it the other way. I hope that makes sense. Let me know what you think. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, let us talk about oyster mushrooms. All right, here we have the best tree on the planet because it's an elm tree. And they give us these wonderful morel mushrooms and others as well. And they are just a fabulous tree. Right there at the base of that tree, I found, I think it was 10 morel mushrooms last year. Elm is the tree that is in cahoots with the morel mushroom. This sucker died, so I'm afraid that we might be in trouble for future mushrooms at some point. But that is the elm tree. And what we have here are oyster mushrooms. Now, there is an elm oyster. There are a few different types of oyster mushrooms. It's okay, you don't have to identify which kind they are. They are all edible. The elm mushroom is not as good as just the standard oyster mushroom. There's elm oyster, but they're still okay. Here's what they look like. They grow in these, see there's some I already picked. They grow in these little clusters, and they especially look like this, little round right there when they're first getting started. Now those, especially the rest of the year, these will pop and get a whole lot bigger. These are just fresh little rascals, and that is so important on oyster mushrooms to catch them fresh. All right. They can be white or cream colored, and let's look at these. They're in one big clump. Underneath, they're all joined together like so. Okay, they got the gills there. They grow in clumps and clusters on wood, not soil. Okay, I smell this. Oh, it smells earthy and really good. And many people say that it smells like licorice. It has a slight licorice scent or anise smell. The reason I'm doing that is there is one called a mock oyster that looks pretty similar, only it's got a kind of an orange tint to it. And they smell like week-old dirty gym socks riding around on a wet dog. And if they smell like that, common sense tells you don't eat those, because mock oysters are not good at all. Regular run-of-the-mill oysters, here we are. It's cold weather, so these are getting kind of frozen and frosted. During the summertime, these oysters look white, beautiful white, and let me tell you, they've got to be fresh. If you see some in the morning, pick them, because they'll be buggy that afternoon. It's amazing how far south they go in a hurry during the summertime. Now, we have some time now. It's cold. It's like God put these in the refrigerator all the time for us right now. So these keep pretty good right now. It's a little bit harder to tell the age this time of year because of the cold weather. But I'm going to take some of these into the kitchen and fry them. I like to do oyster mushrooms much like morels or just about any other. I like to slice them thin, get it to like 1/4 of an inch thickness or less. Less is better. And then flour and fry in butter. And that's, lots of people have different recipes and ideas, but I don't think mushrooms need a lot of help. They have so much flavor on their own. I just flour these and fry them up in butter, a little salt and pepper, and they are amazing. There are other mushrooms this time of year that I was looking around here to see if I could see. Just your common everyday mushroom is just individual. These are in clusters. It's how you know you got the right thing. A word about these mushrooms and any kind of mushroom. There are old mushroom eaters and bold mushroom eaters. There are not old, bold mushroom eaters. This is serious business. This is not something you want to go crazy on and try. You want to be 100%, not 90%, 100% sure you got the right thing, because there are some toxic varieties of mushrooms out there. I'm going to just share the ones with you that don't have a lot of toxic lookalikes, because let's just do the basics, right? But if you are in doubt at all, check with somebody. This is what I've done. We always just hunted morels. We were talking about this the other day in Sunday school class. I always just hunted morels when I was a kid, and I didn't know about this whole other world of mushrooms that's out there all year long. But what I've done is basically learn each year. I've added one more to the arsenal and learned about new mushrooms. Jake up in Wisconsin, my brother up there, thank you for introducing me to this crazy fungi world. There was a whole lot out there that I was walking by and didn't realize it. He told me about chanterelles, oysters, chanterelles, hen of the woods, chicken of the woods. There are some choice mushrooms out there, but you got to be sure and know what you've got, because they can kill you, the wrong thing. There are poisonous ones out there, or they could mess up your liver or really mess you up, make you violently sick. We don't want that. The best thing to do is find someone in your neighborhood that knows. Most of us know somebody that forages. Take some if you find them. That's what I've done with several of the mushrooms as I've gotten introduced to more species. Like when I found hen of the woods this year for the first time, I took it to George and verified that that's what it was. But see if you can find somebody that you can actually take it to before you put that in your body. You do not want to get yourself sick or your family sick. Next best thing, I do have the National Audubon Society Mushroom Field Guide is very good. It's got some real good pictures in it. Get you a field guide. You can compare, look in there, look on the internet on images. Facebook forums are helpful. You have the usual things that come along with social media when you do that. You get some dirt bags in there. I swear you could spend $10,000 on a professional photographer, take pictures of the mushroom and put it on there, and people are going to say, "Can you give us a better picture?" Or they're going to say, "That's a little, it's a little past its prime. You know, I wouldn't eat it." I've put stuff on there that was so fresh, it was dripping with dew. It had just came up like hours earlier, and I've put in pictures on there, and people are like, "That's a little past prime." I don't know what makes people such turds sometimes. That being said, you can get quite a consensus if you put some good images on there, and it will give you an idea of if you're dealing with the right thing. But the best thing to do is to find someone. Make yourself an apprentice and learn a new mushroom every year or every month if you want. Our goal is going to be to to find a mushroom every month this year. Dave and I fish and catch fish every month of the year. That's a good goal too. For 2020, I want to find a mushroom and share it with you guys every month of the year. We knocked out January today. Oyster mushrooms. Take a walk, give it a try. Follow us on YouTube, like we talked about, or Real World Redneck podcast.com. And I just forgot that I was recording a video and put my glove over it. Sorry, I'm a little rusty on the YouTube side here. Well, no production here, no editing. You probably either love it or hate that. So there you go. It's time to go outside.